Yeah, so it's a good question. How do we get people to do more? I mean, this what we're doing. We're having deep, meaningful conversations, in my opinion, is what people need. They need to hear. The people are looking now more than ever to find answers. That's why social media is so vibrant because people are searching for things. They're not exactly always aware of what they're searching for, but they're searching. People are seekers. And the world's gotten pretty dark in the past number of years, which means there's an equal and opposite amount of light. So, same amount of seekers are the same amount of people that are bringing dark to the world. As energies are always balancing each other out. And how we get people to experience this more is by on an individual basis, because that's the only basis that we could do it, is we got to start stepping up our game. And we got to do work on ourselves. It says that mi basari echsa Eloka. It says we can grasp God in from our flesh. From my flesh, I will grasp God. What does that mean? Is start realizing that this idea of godliness is a visceral experience, it's a body experience. It's happening right now, right here in front of you. You know that whole thing about pare and the shortness of the breath? That's your story. You live in Mitzrayim. You know that idea of redemption, of you coming out? That's your story. Everyone comes out of it. Everything is happening. The Torah's message is timeless because it existed before time and space. It's the blueprint for creation, which means it's not limited to when it happened. It's just a story. Now decode it. Now get the message. So, and I believe everyone today is taking information. You can take information from here, from there. Like that's what the world is. Everyone's trying to be a somebody and they're trying to have an opinion, but the only thing you can base it on is the timeless information that never changed and never will change. When people look at the Torah, they look at it as a historical book. Yeah, Moshe was a character in this book and then became a character in a movie. They made a whole Ten Commandments thing. It's a character. It's a nice story. It's even if it happened in the history. Okay, it happened in the history. It was a great story, but we're here and now. It's not relevant. So that's the illusion of life. What's broken for most people, which they don't see, is their perception of what life is and who they are in that whole game. What do I represent? What's my piece? What's my place? We have to have more conversations about it, and we have
Mm.
to have a way of collaborating with each other as people that are into this and strengthening, because strength happens in numbers always. You know, they say the famous Hayom Yom, which is like the daily dose in the Chabad world that was written by the sixth Lubavitch Rebbe. There's one thing that says there's two people in a room and one guy is vulnerable about his problems. He puts out something that he's struggling with. So a struggle of his animalistic side of him, his animal soul. And he says there that the Mitzvah Rebbe, the second Lubavitch Rebbe, used to say that there's two godly souls versus one animal soul in that room when two people get together. Why two godly souls and one animal soul? Why not two versus two? Because an animal soul looks at the world and sees it as a world of survival. I'm surviving. I'm just doing it myself. He doesn't care about me. I don't care about him. There's no
Mm.
connection here. But the godly souls were on a mission. When we raise the godly consciousness of the world in numbers and we spread it, it spreads like wildfire. People get lit up. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been trying my best to is just light up my circles, light up my people, light up the people around me, put fire content out to the world, and just, someone's gonna get hit up by that light, and they're gonna come
A
in,
little bit of light, a
and they're
little
gonna
bit of light can get rid of a lot of darkness, right? Like
we
the
do
Baal
that.
Shem Tov said.
So is that a message? Is that a concept? Or is that the reality that you live by? And for me, I make it the reality, just like you're doing it. There's like, what are we doing here? We're sitting on this podcast talking about whatever, and we're hoping that, it's going to catch some flames, and it will. Because it's a
Definitely.
it's it's a divine intervention that we had to go from two recording platforms to get our message out. And the first time we messed up the recording because something big is what's being said over here that needs to be heard. And there's resistance to the big things in life. So I
That's
embrace it.
the right. That's all the test, and like we've said a bunch of times that these anger or these fears that come up in a person from this world, right? That's only in this world. Really, they're all divine opportunities for growth, for connection, and we have to look beyond what is going on with the physical revelation. And you touched on this earlier. I just wanted to bring it out because it came up and it came up again now. The Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, you said mi b'sari chazeh eloka, right? And mi b'sari can also be from the letters mi Rashbi, from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. I'll be able to understand and to get a deeper understanding of what the Torah is and to grasp what godliness is. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Zohar that the simpletons, the simpletons of the world look at the Torah and they look at the stories and they think that that's the main thing. And the people that yade yatir, they know a little bit more. They look at the goof of the Torah. That the stories are the levushim, right? They're the garments, and people think that that's the main thing. He says people that know more, they look at the body and they know that the body is the main thing, and that's the halachot, the mitzvot, the things that the Torah is coming to teach us to do, the ways, the paths that it's giving us. But he says the people that stood on Mount Sinai, meaning the people that have received the revelation, the people that have experienced the revelation of the Torah, the revelation of Hashem through the Torah and the mitzvot and the tefillah. So then they know that it's the neshama that's the main thing. It's not the garments, it's not the body, it's the neshama. That's the main thing of the Torah. And I really think that like if people were to put their neshama into these practices, then they would start to feel and to receive from them so much healing, so much healing. It's definitely possible. It's there. We're dealing with the Ratzon of Hashem, right? Like the Baal HaTanya says, how much goes on when a person learns Torah in this world, how much connection is being experienced. And when you connect to the source, the natural outcome is healing, is good.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be sourced. Today, if you don't have an attachment to something higher in the world, it's a dark world. It's a scary place. It's filled with anxiety. And you can try trusting the health practitioners of whatever they're going to tell you to do over there. But in the end of the day, we all know that those types of things are temporary solutions. The question is, how much do I believe the message that God gave to me? And how much do I integrate that into my daily life? That's what we're here to do. We're here to bring heaven down to earth, not to reach up into the skies and try to find heaven. That bridge was crossed by Matan Torah. So now we got to embrace life as it is. We got to realize that it's work. You got to do stuff. You got to get involved in the physical world. You can't just live some people can just live in Sfas and just like daven all day. But I think it's important to have these conversations about how we as men and Jewish men, with all the things that we're facing, could go into the world and face it. We're all trying to get better at facing things because the soul, as it comes down to the world, says, why? Like, why? Why? You read the Zu Letzerach Aliyah. We come down here because there's something that we get down here that's greater than just staying there. And that's what we're after.
And if you really want to be up there, you'll be much higher up there once you really integrate those lights down here. If you are able to reveal godliness in a low, low place, so that when you go up back to a realm of all godliness, obviously you're in a higher place, right? You're in a higher level. Reb Nachman says, you brought up Parashat Yitro, Reb Nachman says that the biggest honor to Hashem is that the furthest person in the world could come to admit that Hashem is Olam. A person that was the Pope and had experienced all the Avodah Zarah, all the different things in the world has to offer, for him to come and admit that Hashem is above all and behind everything. That's the biggest honor that a Kadosh Baruch Hu could have. Same said for converts and for Balei Tshuva, right? I want to thank you. It's been a great, hard conversation to get through with all the technical difficulties, but I hope this is a first package of many, that first conversation of many that we'll have and that we'll be able to share with people online. That hopefully will open and start to open and shine little gates of healing for people so that they can find Anochi, they can find themselves, right? I don't know if you saw the last video I posted, but just to share it, just because it's connected to Anochi. Rav Yitzchak Abuchatzera is teaching us in Keter Shem Tov. He brought from the PSS Rebbe. The PSS Rebbe says the Baal Shem Tov explains, Anochi Omed ben Hashem uvenechem. Right? Moshe Rabbeinu says, I am standing between you and Hashem here today, and he's going to tell us everything that Hashem is giving over to the Jewish people. Baal Shem Tov says that anochiyut, the trait of selfishness, is what stands between a person and between Hashem. And the Piaseczner Rebbe says, where did the selfishness come from? It came from a person growing up, and he saw everybody taking care of themselves, everybody worrying about themselves, and no one looked at him, no one heard him, no one felt them, that person. So they naturally developed a defense mechanism saying, hey, if everyone's taking care of themselves and not worrying about me, so I have to take care of myself. And that's how selfishness came into society. And the way to rectify it is by to thinking about one another, by being there for another, right? For having these conversations, for talking, for thinking and praying and doing something for the other, increasing more love between the two. The Piaseczner Rebbe was known for saying the biggest thing a person could do in the world, the greatest thing a person can do in the world is to help someone else, is to do a favor for someone else. Right. So Zat Hashem, thank you for doing me a favor and coming on and having this beautiful conversation. And any last messages for the people out there, people that are watching this, made
Yeah,
it this
my
far?
message is to myself, what I keep on telling myself every day that I get up in the morning is, the God that gave me the breath, that gave me the ability to be grateful for my breath this morning, may He continue to see value in me, and may I continue to see value in myself. What I want people to realize is that if we work on ourselves, what's possible is we can meet the dignity of the mission of who we really are. And everyone's got it. You're not special. You didn't go through too much. We've seen a lot. We've experienced a lot, all of us. And we're meant to come back to ourselves, and there is a path. So I hope to have many more conversations about this because, like I said, this is where we're gonna be able to spread the light is by people listening. So if people like this and they benefit from it, then we'll do it again.
Where can they find more of your stuff if they did like that they enjoyed this conversation? They're not connected yet online. Where can they find more of yours?
Yeah. Anochi. Our website's iamanochi.com, or Finding Anochi is our social presence.
Anochi.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Um, you have a retreat coming up, right?
March
Can you
21st
tell
to the
people a little bit?
23rd. Yeah, I do actually. When my kids just got home, it's like perfect time. Anyways,
All
to be
right,
continued.
perfect.
To be
Bezat
continued.
Hashem. Thank you so much, Adam, again, and we'll definitely do this again. Thank you, and have a great day.
I'll see you, brother. Much love.
Bye.